wait for 2 3 minutes, then we'll start. We'll check if any people are joining or not. Sorry, team, for the delay. We'll start. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen so that you can see what is happening. Uh, my voice is audible and my screen is also visible. Need a quick confirmation. Okay, all right. So
Yes,
see,
sir.
okay. So see, right now we're trending in month two. Okay, already we complete till this portion. Like how you can integrate the logic with front end, how you can like deal with complex analytical result and this kind of things, the concept which I explained in previous class. So today my agenda is to explain this concept and this concept. Okay, that is the system refine and validation, how you can tune your algorithm to reduce any kind of false or positive things, and also you have to add any historical data, that is for view, for trending analysis across all the project. Like wherever you are working, just need to know the concept. Okay, that's the things. And second thing is API documentation, that is how you can finalize your like front end and back end things, and how you can create comprehensive API, these kind of things today will uh, shared. Okay, first, just I want to know from you guys. You guys facing any problem, any challenges? If you face, let me know. First, listen. Then I'll move to this topic. Okay, how the project is goes on? Any problem? Any challenges? Vishwajit, you are implementing, like you were talking about the automation. So, what's the update? Like you are working on it. Atul.
सर इस प्रोजेक्ट में ऑटोमेशन पार्ट नहीं हो पाया एक्चुअली 3 to 4 days मेरा शेप फाइल क्रिएट करने में ही लग गया बिकॉज
Okay.
जो प्रोजेक्ट में कर रहा हूँ उसका इजीली फाइल अवेलेबल नहीं था ओपन सोर्स में
Hmm.
तो QGIS के थ्रू मतलब मैंने उसे क्रिएट किया है पर्टिकुलर उसमें टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा चला गया उसका फेस्टिवल टाइम भी था थर्ड
हाँ हाँ
प्रोजेक्ट है मैं
हाँ।
वो पार्ट को करूंगा
ठीक है तो as much as possible try to develop, okay, like according to requirement. So what you are
हाँ
talking about, that's the extra thing. If you confident and if you have time, try to develop these portions also. Okay, regarding project, any problem, any challenges?
नॉट यस
Okay, thank you. Atul.
सर अभी स्टार्ट करूंगा लाइक फेस्टिवल था तो थोड़ा
अच्छा अच्छा,
बिजी है इस वजह से।
दिवाली वगैरह सब ठीक से सब लोगों का गया? First, I
हाँ
forgot, like happy Diwali to all. Like I hope you guys are celebrating the things with happiness and all the things. Everything is sorted, right now.
यस सर सेम टू यू।
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so we have to work on the project because I don't think so we have that much time. So I think admin will start giving the date after 25. I'm not sure about it, but according to previous trend, we can assume. So you have time till this week. Okay, I think you can assume after 25, you guys receive the date. Okay, so uh, I'd suggest to work a little bit faster. Okay, all right. So according to your uh, telling, I understand. Right now during festive season, you are like implement lots of things and something are pending. So take your time and try to finish rest of the things. Okay. What about others? I'm asking only Vishwajit and Atul because they are communicating. What about Sara, Sarvagya, uh, Selvam, Rajeswari, Aditya, and the other people? You guys have started working on project.
Yes, sir. I have one doubt regarding the data sets. Like the data set, related to one particular area, the municipality or the development or the any issues regarding particular city or
Sorry, the data is not related to what?
I have doubt regarding the data set collections. Like what kind of data sets do we need to collect? Like is it related to one particular issue or one particular issue of that particular area?
Mm, just give me a minute. I have to check the requirement once. Then I'll confirm. Okay. I can see the project is your project. You guys are working on the urban development public sentiment analysis. So for this registry, you have to collect the data set from any particular city uh, portion. Okay, like Bangalore, you can put there like who is there like
Yeah.
uh, for example, I'm talking about BBMP something. They are like municipality. Those people are arranging. So for example, you can collect the data from their website. If not available in for Bangalore, you can collect the data in foreign city. So
Okay.
according to our requirement, we have to work on the loopholes where here I like break it down the three things, that is evidence driven research allocation, what it is. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so I split it into three part. First part is like basic ingestion and geos APL base. So for this you have to collect on the geo code, GeoJSON like map related info. For second thing like social ingestion, like for this you have to check that any any person is complaining anything, so you have to collect this kind of info somewhere. Okay, and the third thing is transit data and performance. So according to you, just do research. I hope you guys are getting this kind of data set.
Yeah.
Just search for any cities. Okay, for
Okay.
India you might be getting Bangalore's info.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, what about others team? So some people are only responding. What about others?
Yeah, the work is going on, and we are like currently working on data set and the dashboard part right now.
Okay, Sarvagya. Rajeshwari. Okay, Rajeshwari is answering. Aditya. Selvam. And who are
So I
there?
had the same issue as Rajeshwari asked, so it is now cleared.
Okay, Sarah. So
Yeah.
go for any big cities dataset you can collect and modify accordingly. You can use AI to
Yes,
rectify
sir.
and generate the things.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Okay, then I can assume that you guys are working on it. Happy to see. Okay, so now moving to today's concept. Okay, I'm sharing my screen to explain the concept. Okay, so which which concept I'm explaining. So might be in this project we are implementing something, might not be something, but for your info, I'll explain each and everything, whatever is mentioned in the our curriculum. Okay, so stay tuned and listen and try to understand what the things is happening. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so as I can remember, till session 15 we completed. Okay, so in today I'll start from session 16. That is like system uh, refinement, validation, and how you can tune your algorithm. That the thing we will mainly focus. Okay, how we can implement the things into our work, we have to know. Okay, where is my word? Okay, so here we can see that if I try to understand what the concept is, uh, so here we are reduce some false positive false things from your detection. That means which ML system we are working priorly. And right now we are try to find some historical view. So the team that can track the trend and where whether the tuning is actually happen. Okay, so some terminology I'm talking about, it might be new for someone, but don't confuse. So basically here our main agenda is we are try to understand what is false and what is positive things that we find in our data set. Using ML, we are try to find it out from our past, priorly any historical uh, data set. Okay, from there we are try to find and we are try to track the trends, to see whether the tuning is actually happening or it's helpful or not. This kind of things we are mainly focusing here. Okay, so you can see that system refine and validation. Okay, how we can do this is our agenda. So basically if I want to do the things into our project, let's suppose we want to implement the thing. So for this I feel it's better to divide into some parts. Okay, here I want to divide the things into four parts. So in first part it is uh, i'll I'll plan the things first. Okay, so in planning, we have to pick the target and metrics. Okay, we have to pick target and metrics. METRICS metrics. Second thing we can implement, that is the label, or you can diagnose the things. Okay, so you have to think about the label, like where my work is existing and how we can make it more better. It's called diagnosis. DIAGNOS, what it is. So for this you can collect any example and you can measure the current error. Okay, like you can collect any data set from there, you can collect the example and you can figure it out where they are doing mistakes. Like, okay, you have to check the pattern where the error is happening. So this kind of things you have to do to make these things more better. Okay, so planning is done. Checking is done where the wrong things is happening. Third thing is, next you have to think that where we can improve. So we have to make the things more better. That's why it's talking a technical term, tuning. So I'm writing tune and improvement. IMPROVEMENTS, improvements. Okay, so here we are mainly checking on the particular rules, like in which way my work is ongoing, what the threshold value, till up the till what's the maximum threshold work we can develop or implement. Okay, next you have to check that the model calibration, or if I want to add some particular feature so that it is getting benefited, that means at the end point it's improved. So you have to check these things also. Basically you have to check the rules, the threshold, threshold, thresholds, some model calibration, 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 and feature, FEATURE, feature. So that's the thing you have to do. And last one thing you have to check, that is for testing. Okay, so you have to check what you are developing. So for this you have to do validation. Okay, validation and monitoring. validation and monitor. That means you have to check your work. Okay. So what is actually happening? What you are doing? So you have to track all the things in a dashboard. Okay. So there you have to check that any uh, written loop is there or not. Any uh, like any what I can say, any detection, any fraud things are there or not. Basically you have to check your work, that how it is happening, any loophole or there or not, how we can improve. That's the thing you have to check. Okay. So in dashboard, in dash VOARD, in dashboard, you have to check, you have to check the loops. Okay, how you can make it more better. So I'm not writing anything. I hope you understand what you have to do in validation and monitoring. Okay. So now coming to how we have to deliver the work. Okay. That is system refinement and validation. So first thing you have to uh, think about your phase one. Okay. You have to think your phase one. Uh, why I'm telling phase one, because it's a, very long process. So I try to combine all the things very crisp way. Okay, that's what I'm writing. So in like phrase one, you have to pick up. You have to pick which system is refined. Okay, so you might be thinking that, sir, which system, like which particular system you're talking about. So if I giving you example, so let's suppose you are working on an RIC scoring, any sentiment analysis, any sentiment topics, any uh, attribute anomalies, okay, or any adherence alert. So in this case, you have to pick like which system to refine. Okay, so you have to do refine. So pick which system, SYSTEM, system to refine, REFINE, refine. Okay, second thing is you have to check that, like you have to define the clear surface matrix. You have to define a clear SUCES, a success matrix, METRICS. So what it is? So here some concept are existing. Just listen. So what it is? Here some concept are there, that is called APE PR. I think APR. Yeah. So in APR, what it is? It's called false positive rate. False positive rate. So here some formulas are existing, that is if anything is false positive rate, that means FER is equal to, you can tell them FE divided by FP plus TN. Okay. So here you have to check the precision, the recall, and the F1. Okay, so this is for classification. Also, you can check the case value. You can check the business KPI, that is for alert investigation. I'm talking about. If you are finding any true positive things, so you have to check the matrix. Okay, so that you can come up with a solution. That means you have to come with where the targets are there or not. Okay, for example, some it's reduce the FPR by 30% while keeping the call rate is, let's suppose, greater than equal to 0.8. So in this case you have to decide and you have to accept the target. Okay, that's the thing. And you have to choose the time frame and the owner. So that's the thing you have to perform in phase one. Okay. So phase one is done. Now phase two. In phase two, you have to label and diagnostic. Somewhere I talking about label and diagnostic. So In label and diagnostic, you have to create a label data set of your historical cases, like priorly cases. So here you have to export the last the sorry the past alerts or any event with outcome label that you feel. Okay, so you have to work this kind of things. Next, you have to think about how you can compute the baseline matrix. Okay, it is a confusion matrix, might be to recall something. So you have to check that the baseline. So how you can work with the baseline? So for this, here you have to use SQL. Okay, so simply you have to write the query, like whatever things is required you can implement using SQL query, okay, to compute the baseline matrix. Third thing is that is tune and improvement, okay, phase 3. So for tune and improvement, so basically tuning is usually combine the rules for any kind of engineering works and the model improvement we are doing. Okay, so first thing you have to check the simple something you can think like that you have to adjust some rule threshold value. Okay, for example, thing like that, increase the grace window, okay, for the rule that are too sensitive, you have to test on historical data, okay, or else you can add the rules to suppress the alerts during known noisy condition, the site maintenance, device updates. So that's the thing you can do in uh, tune improvement. Okay. Next thing that is in tune improvement also we can do lots of things. Okay, also we can do some threshold tuning. Okay, in threshold tuning you have to use the label dataset to compute the precision recall at like defined threshold value. That's kind of things you can do. You can calibrate uh, the things, you can improve the feature or also model things. You can reduce the noisy input. That the thing you can do. Okay, okay, so next talking about phase 4, that is our validation and monitoring. Okay, so you have to check in back. Okay, so like you have to go through the back test improvement on held out any historical periods and compute the same metrics. Okay, so you have to compare before and after. Okay, so let's suppose A and B some testing you are doing, so you have to check the roots of the 50% of like alter to new rules are existing or not. So that's the thing you have to check basically. Okay, next you have to check that where the daily weekly counts are targeting or not. If PR I'm talking about, you have to check FPR and the precision over time are like how it is you have to check. Okay, so simply if I combine all the things, so some student might be thinking, so what kind of thing you try to say? Okay, if I combine the things very easier, try to understand like that main concept is here if I compare the patient related things which you are working on priorly, first project, so you have to check patient adherence, some sentiment things, that is positive negative feedback. Okay, and third thing is attribution score. Okay, so you have to implement the things first, you have to collect the feedback or error. Okay, so you have to check where your model is making mistake, like marking any adherence patient as non-adherence. You have to check that like how you are creating a small file or the database table to store wrong prediction or user feedback. Okay, that's the thing you can do. For example, you can say like yeah, uh, if users mark uh, prediction as wrong, so it will giving you the feedback table. Okay, so this kind of things. Second thing which I'm talking about, the tuning algorithm. Okay, so here my agenda is reduce the false positive. Okay, so here we have to adjust the model parameters to make prediction more accurate. You have to use the cross validation or retire model with better data. Okay, so for example, you can take the npl sentiment for fine tuning text blob, the Python library which I told you earlier, text blob or VEDAR threshold you can use. Okay, for risk model you can adjust the decision threshold like zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.6. So this will help you to reduce your false positive things. Okay, that means it help you to correct your model. Okay, third thing is you have to add some historical like prior data you have to add. Okay, so if you add the things, if you add the time based analysis, like if you add some time based analysis, so it will help you to see the changes or the trends. Okay, for example, I'm telling, so you use some timestamp, any date, month, year in your database. Okay, so in this case, you have to aggregate the data using SQL or pandas, so that you can store uh, these as a summary for chart. Okay, so that's the thing you can do. Okay, next is you have to showcase the trend which you are working. Okay, that means you can add some particular chart using the bar charts. Okay, you can you can use some library plotly. Okay, to showcase the things. So your agenda is to showcase the trends. Okay, like adherence rate over time, like sentiment are positively over time or not, risk for improvement. That's the thing you have to showcase. Okay, so that's the thing. The concept is existing for system refined and validation. Okay, I hope at least something you are able to understand. Okay, so very simply you have to collect the feedback and error. Okay, why it's important? Because you have to know where your model is failing. Okay, and next is you have to tune your algorithm. Basically it will reduce the false alerts. Okay, and third thing is you have to add time based date, so it will be giving you the proper analyzed trend. And I feel here it shows the result on dashboard, so you have to make a easy visualization dashboard. So here like there you can see all the things as combined. Okay, and like continuous validation is required because you have to track and improve the system accurate. Okay, I hope little bit you guys understand, team. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next moving to next topic, that is API documentation. Okay, so see, this is the concept I want to convey so that you can familiar with it. Okay, so that's my main agenda. Okay, so now we have to know that API documentation, like finalize the backend and create some compressive API documentation using Swagger or Open API. Okay, for project. So here the main idea, after reading the things, I can understand that this is a API documentation kind of things. Okay, so there is a list are there. Okay, of the endpoint plus uh, how to call them using different type of example, some authentication rule, all the things you have to uh, do. Okay, using Open API. So in Open API you can use JSON file to show the Swagger UI, or you can use something is existing. Yeah, redoc something is there. So you can use the redoc. So your dev team or QA team can immediately use the APIs. Okay, so that's our main agenda to do. Okay, so first thing you have to check that uh, lock your uh, what I can say. Yeah, that means lock your final endpoint so that you can stick into your point. Yeah, what it is, lock your final endpoint. Okay, so that you can stick into it. So why I'm telling like that, so if you do this, so in one page list you will see some method, some path, some sort purpose you are getting. Okay, so for example, if I doing some API adherence, so it will showcasing the list of the patient adherence summary. Okay, so next you have to confirm each endpoint that is required for our uh, analysis or authentication, like those who are working on the APIs. So you have to generate the token also. Okay. So the lock your final endpoint means you have to make a one page list. There you have to highlight the method, the path, the sort purpose you have to highlight. So, for example, I am talking about that the list of the patient adherence summary. Okay. Second thing I feel that is important, you have to define the request and the responsive. That's the thing API is existing. You have to define a request and response shape. So what it is basically, for each endpoint you have to decide the exact JSON body. Okay, in JSON body the field and types are also there. What I'm talking about, so if you have to define the request and the response, like you have to shape. So for each endpoint you have to decide the exact JSON body. Okay, so keep your response consistent. Okay, you use some snake case or camel case if you feel, include different type of example, success or error response. Okay, so that's the thing you have to define, define the request and responsive. Again, I'm telling, so for each endpoint, you have to define a JSON body. Okay. And you have to maintain your like camel case or snake case at the thing, and you have to include like include some example that the success and the error response. Okay. Third thing that is required, uh, yeah, it is a open API related thing. So for it, you have to write a minimal open API file. Okay, so it's called YAML. YAML. So this is a structured file. Okay, so here you have to describe all the endpoint, the like parameters and the schema or authentication things. Okay, so here you have to use your YAML file so that it is easy to read, and you have to keep your example in line. Okay. Next thing that is required, so its visuality with Swagger UI. Okay, so what I am telling, so it visually, VISSUALLY, visually with SWAGGER. This is a UI. Okay, so here you have to host the open API file with Swagger UI. Okay, so that the non-device, the non-devs, like non-device I'm talking, the those who are non-developer are there, they can click and uh, try to endpoint. Okay, so if you use this framework, that will auto generated your open AI using fast API or Spring ASP.NET. So you have to verify and you have to customize the generated speed. Okay, kind of automation here we can apply. Next thing, you have to add some uses example. Okay, you have to add USAG uses example, EXAMPLES. So here you have to include any call example and simple request bodies for each endpoint. Okay, no need to make it complex. Okay. Next, going to next thing, that is called documentation authentication. If any error are existing, we have to check DOCU, document authentication and error. Okay, so here you have to explain how to get an API token. Okay, how to get a API token and what header to send. Okay, so for example, here you can do the authentication things to generate a token. Also, you can highlight the least common HTTP status code and what they mean to in your API. Okay, so you can do this kind of things. uh, Basically here you have to check that how easier you can generate your minimal open API things. Okay, so for this you have to write some code in YAML. Okay, that's the thing you can generate via AI. There's not such issue. uh okay, next is hand off checklist. One thing is existing, it's called hand off checklist. Okay, so it is a one-page hand of the next team. Okay, so here you can check them. This is my Open API.yml file. So it's include the repository what I am writing. Everything is there. Next, you can highlight this is my Swagger UI that is accessible at any document URL. Okay. Next, you can tell them that my authentication is done and this is explained with using test uh, token. Okay, so for example you can use any call and sample JSON that is payload include. Okay, also you can highlight some postman collection that is attach and optional. Okay, so that's the thing you can do. If I combine the things in very easier way so that you can understand, here our main agenda or main concept you can say like that: API documentation. Okay, which mean you have to write clear guide with example. Okay, that what your backend API does. Okay, what your backend API does, how other people like the developer, the front end people are there, they can use it. Okay, also like what data they need to send and what they get back. Okay, this is the fundamental uses of API. Okay, so think of it like a user manual for your backend. Okay, so for tool here we are using Swagger UI and Open API. That the tools is automatically created. Okay, and the visual documentation for your API. Okay, so you can use you can see the endpoint, you can try them and test the response for all the forms of the browser. Okay, so for this you have to check your finalized backend. So you have to make sure that your backend API are ready. Okay, uh, that is ready or not. Okay, you have to check the API should work correctly and return the JSON data. That's the thing you have to check. You have to check the list all the endpoint. Okay, endpoint that is gate like API patient gate, the sentiment you can use post, and one thing is that is get. Okay, so get for all the patient. Post we are using to analyze any kind of text that is the sentiment things, and again we can use the get to generate the RIC score. Okay, so that's the thing simply you have to do. Nothing hard it is. In short, I'll revise your concept. Okay, so you have to finalize the API. If I finalize the APIs. Okay. So what it is that makes your the backend endpoint work or not, you have to check. Second thing is you have to write down. Uh, you have to write down all endpoint. Okay, so for it you have to know what each API does. Okay, that is very important. Third thing is you can describe your request and response. DESCRIBE, describe request, or EQU, request and response. So what it is, it will clarify how to use each API. Okay. Next, you can use the Swagger, SWAGG, Swagger UI, or uh, Open API. So it will create some visual interactive documentation. You can add some example or error so that it will make your document friendly, that those QA and developer people are reading. Okay, and share the readme file so that it will be easy hand off to the next team. Okay, that's the thing you have to do whenever you are working on it. That's the thing from my end. If you have any question, feel free to ask me.
Sir, can you show some of example of this, like how this document looks like?
Like how you can implement the things you want to know.
Yes, yeah, and the final output so that we can have a little bit of idea like this is how it's going to be.
uh, right now it become like only 12 minutes we have, so it is a very lengthy process. Okay, uh, which we can do. Okay, I try to develop the things and try to send you the file, so can you can go through the file and you will be able to understand. Okay, why I'm telling, so it is very lengthy process, so you're developing a project. So I try to understand and frame it into my brain, and according to it, I am telling. Okay, so if you want to develop the thing, so you have to think on your mind and write in each and everything. Okay, I hope you understand the tool. So for it, we need some time to develop. If you are curious, give me some time. I'll showcase you how actually it is looking. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So for this, I have to write the code, how actually it is looking. Apart from this, conceptual things, if you need to know anything, ask me. Okay. Why I'm telling, I hope you understand. If I try to develop the things, it will take more time. Within less time, how I can develop? It will very time consuming. But the concept I'm thinking and explaining you guys how actually it is working. Also, I am giving you the example where it's required, like what the thing it is. Can I repeat one, like the main key concept about the second things, API documentation? If you need, I'll summarize the things once again. Okay, Rajeshwari says yes. So, like you guys are want to repeat once again, or you guys are telling it's okay? What I can assume.
Yeah, like can you repeat once again? Like Swagger, I have some idea, but
Okay, so this is nothing but a UI. Okay, I'm telling the thing. So, here main concept what I am writing na. Uh, see, what? Yeah. So if we talking about the API documentation, the finalize the backend and create some compressive API documentation. Okay. So first you have to finalize some API. Okay. So what's the purpose to finalize some API? So that will make your backend endpoint is working or not. Okay. Again, I'm telling it will make sure your backend endpoint is working or not. That's why we are finalize our API. Okay. Write down all the endpoint because you have to know that what each API does. Okay, so you have to very much uh, confident which API what work is doing. Okay, so that's I'm telling you have to know what each API is actually doing. It should be clear in your mind. Third thing is write down all the endpoint. Okay, I already explained. Next is describe request and response. It means you have to clarify to use each API. Okay, that means you need to know where which API we are implementing and what the endpoint of it. Okay, and regarding the Swagger and Open API, so it will create some visual that will giving you to interact with the documentation. That's why we are using. Okay, and also I'm telling that you can add some example and error so that your document which you are writing, if anyone is like reading and go through into it, they can easily understand this is the wrong things and this is the right things. So this is the things, and uh, I'll split the things into uh, 4 5 things. That is finalize your backend, that is required because if you finalize your backend, that will make sure your backend API are ready or not. Okay, so first is finalize your backend. In backend it will giving you the idea that your API is ready or not. Okay, and each API should work correctly to your return JSON. Okay, that's the thing in finalize backend. Second thing is list all the endpoint. Again, why I'm talking about the endpoint, because you need to know which is my endpoint. Okay, so for this you can use get, post, and put or get method you can use. Okay, okay, for list for all endpoint. Third thing is describe your input and output. Okay, so for this you need to know what is my input, like what data we send, and for output what response we are getting. Okay, so using this you can do. And fourth thing is you have to create some Swagger documentation. So there you have to mention that you are using the tool and what the use cases, all the things you can add. And for those who are reading your documentation, for this you can add some example and error that will showcase where it's lagging. Okay, and the main thing that is final hands off. So when the documentation is ready, you can share the Swagger link. That is the documentation. On also you can attach a short README file that will giving you like how to run the API and all the things. Okay, so mainly you have to focus on the API and the all the endpoints. So this is the agenda of uh, finalize the backend. That's all. Okay, I'll try to develop the things. This is very time consuming. It will be done like you can do, but it is time consuming. Uh, in next class, if possible, I'll showcase you how actually it's looking. Okay, but for this we need some time to develop. Okay, tell me anything if you have.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, API endpoint जो बोल रहे हैं आप बनाने, just like previously React पे जो डैशबोर्ड बनाया था हमने उस तरह से था.
Hmm.
तो बेसिकली एंड पॉइंट का सिर्फ डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करना है सागर के थ्रू, या एंड पॉइंट को पावर बीआई में फेच करना है वेब स्क्रैपिंग के थ्रू एंड देन डैशबोर्ड क्रिएट करना है.
Uh, so this is the concept we are not implementing into our project. Okay. But if you want to implement this project in another work, so आपने पूछा API को कहाँ integrate करना है, okay? So for my understanding, so you have to document the tool in Swagger UI, okay? Not in dashboard, okay? So that
Mhm.
whenever you write a small file like open API YML file, so there it will describe all each endpoint, okay? That's the matter, okay?
बेसिकली
First,
हमें टेस्ट जस्ट काइंड ऑफ टेस्ट
हाँ,
डॉक्यूमेंट
टेस्ट
बनाना है.
करना टेस्ट करना है. You have to try it and you have to send the request and see the response. Okay, first you have to develop, that means you have to try the things and you have to send and see the response. That's all that I understand to read the things.
और ये हमें प्रेजेंट करना है लाइक जैसे स्वागर में जो होस्ट हो जाता है यूआई के थ्रू, उसमें फिर डिफरेंट इंड पॉइंट्स का कैलकुलेशन दिखाता है उस तरह से, लाइक
हाँ
दैट.
हाँ.
Has anybody received those stipend of the September month?
No, no.
नो.
Okay, same here. Then let ask out sir about that stipend, that why the company is lagging behind in giving the stipend to the interns. Like, what is the reason?
Okay, I think some network issue are there. So I'm talking that in today's class I complete 16 and 17 lesson, that is like tune algorithm, how you can tune and how you can like finalize the backend. Okay. In next class I'll try to cover the 2 3 concept that is pending. I'll try to cover it up. Okay. And my request to everyone, please focus on project. Okay. In this note, we'll conclude the session. Okay, see you in the next class. Please work on the project. If you face any problem, challenges, let me know. I'll try to clarify in the next class. Okay, thank you all team.
Thank